So we've got our shrine for July 1st, 2023, and it's an interesting one. We've got about 12 hours left on it, so halfway through the shrine. And we'll start off with our killer perks. So we have two unique killer perks here. The first one is Lethal Pursuer, which is a nemesis perk. And basically what it does is at the beginning of the trial, the words of all survivors are revealed to you for 9 seconds. And then any add-ons or perks or anything that increases, or I shouldn't say increases, anything that just provides aura reading throughout the game, extended, increased by 2 seconds. So you get that beginning power, and then get some increased duration to any of your other aura reading throughout the game. So pretty useful perk. We'll talk about kind of where it fits in our scale of meta, off meta, meme, or trash. But it is a Nemesis perk, so it is Resident Evil IP, not behavior. So if you're going to grab Nemesis or the Resident Evil chapter as a whole, you're going to pay cash. So if you're not paying cash, if you're a free-to-play player, or just not interested in playing Nemesis or grabbing any of those Resident Evil characters from that chapter, then you might want to spend your hard-earned shards on this perk. And then our second killer perk is Unnerving Presence, a trapper perk, but this is one unlike the Resident Evil chapter. This is one of the generic basic starter killers, so you can just use blood points to level up the trapper and snag this perk. But what Unnerving Presence does is it increases your terror radius, triggers more skill checks, and reduces the success zones for those skill checks. So we'll talk about what that fits in, how that works, what perks it works with in a second. But those are our killer perks. And then for survivor perks, we have a Quentin perk, Vigil, which basically this one is green. It's going to have a little bit better stats here in the purple rank. We just haven't taken care of leveling up Quentin through all of his prestiges to get the perks to rank 3 to purple. But basically, blindness, broken, exhausted, exposed, hemorrhaged, hindered, oblivious, those things all recover faster. So if you use any sort of exhaustion perks or other, what are these? Exhaustion's really the only one here, maybe broken, depending on what perks you combine it with that you're going to inflict on yourself. The rest are ones that the killer's going to inflict on you. But the killer's inflicting any of these status effects on yourself, on you, and you're going to inflict any of these on yourself, then you're going to recover faster. So you can do some like infinite or burst builds, things like that. We'll talk about that. So it is a unique perk. It's a cool perk. It's definitely useful, but is it going to make the cut on one of your 4 perks? That's what we'll talk about. But it is Quentin, which is in the Nightmare chapter, so it's another one of those original IPs. It's one of those licensed IPs, so you're going to have to spend cash if you want to grab the characters, so you might want to pick them up in the shrine. And then we have Deception, which is an LED perk, and this basically lets you trigger a loud noise notification at a blocker and then try to disappear. So pretty straightforward, right? Deception, you're trying to see the killer there. It's a fun perk. So we're going to go through and we're going to give our ratings here. We kind of got a 4-prong rating system here. Meta, off meta, which might just be perks that require a build around, or they might just be second choice, second best meta perks. Then we have meme, might not be the best, but they're fun. And then trash, not fun, not good. So we'll grab our little pen here and we'll start scribbling what we think. So first one here is Lethal Pursuer meta. It's a good perk, right? There's a handful of perks out there that allow you to get a good start to the game. This is one of them. Corrupt can help by pushing the survivors to you and not letting them hop right on gens. Discordance can work sometimes if they spawn together. They hop on a generator right away. You know where to pressure, you know where you can bother 2 right away. Get them off that first gen, moving around, get in the chase. And Lethal is one of the most reliable, getting that early order reading. And then the fact that it has a bonus effect throughout the game is cool. Try to run it with add-ons or a second order reading perk, maybe 2 slowdowns or a slowdown and a chase perk. Now you've got a solid build. Then when we go to Unnerving Presence, this one's kind of a strange one, right? You're going to have to build around with it, and that's why we're going to say this is more of a build around perk. There's a few killers, Doctor and the Knight to be specific, that want this kind of effect. And we'll show some builds later. But basically, they're trying to get the survivors to screw up on skill checks, trying to regress gens, trying to basically just wreak havoc, not let them hit skill checks. They might be running uh, overcharge, oppression, might be running merciless storm, things like that. Their powers to harass survivors, and then having that bigger terror radius for Doctor's Blast, that bigger terrorist radius to trigger some of the skill checks and your perks is very important. So more build around me. It is kind of me, but in the right build, it can be very good. Now, when it comes to the survivor perks, Vigil is a solid perk, right? It's just a debate about whether it's good enough to fit into the 4 perks that you have slots for. A lot of times it won't, but sometimes you want to do something like an infinite sprint burst build. Just want to be pumping out the sprint burst as often as possible. This perk is very useful. So I think this is one that we're going to put it as build around. Uh, can be a little memey, right? You're going for the challenge of getting a sprint burst or dead hards. Dead hards a little different now with basically having a little qualifier on how you can use it. So not really dead hard anymore, but it could be sprint burst live. It could head-ons. Could be a lot of different things. So it's built around, but you can also kind of meme around with it. And then deception is one that sometimes you get value out of it, but not always. It's more of a meme perk. It's fun, but it's not the greatest. So here we've got some solid perks here. So what are our recommendations? Lethal, A plus, number one. Get that if you're not planning on getting Nemesis. And the rest of these are more, they appeal to you, right? This is the one you want to grab 100%. And these are more of, kind of bring, do you think they're fun? Think they're fun? Grab them. If not, then it's probably a pass. I'd lean more towards this one because it is in a licensed chapter, but it's really, do you think these are fun? Grab them. If not, it's a pass, and lethal definitely grab. So it's kind of our quick and dirty thoughts. We'll show some builds that showcase lethal, and we'll show a few that showcase unnerving presence. Then we'll kind of jump into some games, see if we can use some of these in game, and cross off some dailies, get some of the rift done, all that kind of stuff. So we'll hop over to our killer and survivor builds and kind of showcase how we would use the perks. So lethal is one of those that we like to use on killers that have a power that can do a bunch of damage early. Killers that kind of jump out to me. Go through your plagues one, right? We love to run plague with double apple add-on, so we have 3 game. So you run lethal, boom, you know where they're at, grab an apple, damage done, or you can get some quick downs, get your plaything going, just turn into retribution, mentamento. You just want that early game start, get things going. Not that you don't on every killer, but on some it's more important than others. Lethal I like on the executioner as well. I don't know what we're running here, all sorts of different builds. Supposed to be for how that got changed, but here's one here. Lethal, pair with All Ears and some slowdown. Boom. Got 2 slowdown, 4 reading, get that early start, and then get some nice snipes later on. Very solid there. And a number of killers can utilize Pursuer, but those are just 2 that kind of showcase it there. Now, if we're talking unnerving presence, Doc's one that jumps out to us. Something like this, right? Unnerving, go along with Merciless, Deadman Switch, Scourge Hook, and your ability, right? Having a miss skill checks, locking up generators, shocking them off the generators. So, just very solid with increasing your terror radius, with the comm add-on, or whatever else you're running, to just really take advantage of your power. And another killer that kind of jumps out as the choice for using a build like this would be the Knight. Again, very similar build. Charge is dead, but we got Merciless Storm and Unnerving Presence. Day the best for last just to help with chase. And basically what we're utilizing is his large terror radius with overcharge, with those gens regressing. It's going to lock them up for a little bit, send jailers to be able to harass them as well. So just a very solid area control kind of build. Presence. And then we're talking survival. Deception's one of those that you can just kind of throw in as a 4th perk and have some fun with. But you can run it with head on other locker perks. We do a locker perk build. But if we're talking survivors, let's see if we have an open slot. Anyway, that'll have one. Definitely take one off. So, what do we run here? So if we grab, snag some of these perks off, snag some off, take some of these off, and then snag some perks. So if we're running Vigil, we'll grab Vigil first, right? Vigil, we're gonna run with some sort of exhaustion perk. So Sprint Burst is probably your best bet. We're taking the wrong box, but here we go. Sprint Burst there, right? So now you can recover a little bit faster there. See the other exhaustion perks here that we might want to run instead. We can recover a little bit faster. What else we run here? These are non-bows there. Vigil's a big one. I think we'll put it in there. But basically, you can recover this a lot quicker. I don't think what Nancy's perk is. That if you walk self-aware here, so you walk 20% faster. You can run it with self-aware as well. You can walk a little bit faster, recover a little bit faster, and then kind of your fourth perk is whatever you might want to throw in there. Adrenaline, a lot of different things. But basically, this lets you walk a little bit faster. So around loops, you can walk and recover quicker, and then chain together those exhaustion perks. So could be sprint burst, could kind of be head on, and maybe you want quick and quiet or something like that instead. It could be bounce landing, bring map offering, advantage of that. Fly and sprint burst, the ones that jump out to me. Sprint burst being the better one. So real quickly, that's a Vigil build there. You're just kind of committing a lot to it, but you could also take self-wear off and just not worry about the walking faster. So you got some options there. It's definitely a fun perk to mess around with. You can definitely string together a lot of sprint bursts when you're recovering 30% faster. So it was 25 at green, it's 30% at purple. That's a considerable amount of time, right? Yeah, what, 40 seconds there? So you're talking 30% faster. You're talking 12 seconds faster, right? Yeah. So that's considerably faster. You're at 28 seconds now. That's a lot less. So you can definitely string those together. So one of those ones that if it appeals to you, grab it. Otherwise, maybe pass. But definitely can be fun, as can both of killer builds that we kind of showed before. Any builds you paired up with another another war reading perk, and then Unnerving Presence with Merciless Storm and Overcharge and killers like Doctrine. So that's kind of the quick and easy. We'll pop over to the store real quick and throw up our thoughts one last time for the screenshot. And yeah, lethal definitely pick up. If you're not planning on leveling up Nemesis, the other ones are fun. They're definitely fun perks. So if you want to mess around with them, definitely worth with the 1500 that you're going to be spending during the event. But if you don't think you'll have fun with them, then they're easy ones to skip as well. So anyway, we're going to jump into some games. We're going to try to showcase some dailies. But we'll have this up on YouTube. Hopefully, we see you guys in the comments on YouTube, on stream on Twitch, or run into you sometime in the vlog. Appreciate it.